This meditation is an invocation of the high self. The high self is the higher intelligence of the soul, which is always present to guide us, to show us the way. And if you think of your high self presence, if you think of this concept that we're talking about, maybe when you close your eyes, you can visualize maybe like a light or a presence somewhere around you. And whatever that is, just pay attention. When I say high self, what am I seeing in my mind's eye? What am I thinking? The way I see it is that when we are reaching out to spirit, the source, intelligence, the source of all creation, it is bright, bright lights, in fact, so bright that somehow we may not be able to absorb or even be present in that intensity of where creation comes from. And to me, the high self is like a skylight. Because the high self knows the journey of the soul, where we've been, how many times, and what we accomplished and what we did not, and intimately knows this soul that I'm embodying now. All the aspirations, all the frustrations, all the wishes, and the obstacles that are on the way. So the high self is an ally to help us move forward in life, doing what we really came here to do this lifetime. And just take a nice deep breath, acknowledging that such a presence is indeed there in the body energy system. Take a nice deep breath. And the intention of today's meditation is to bring this presence in and embody into our body energy system so that we are never too far from this bright light that comes to us when we call. Nice, easy, deep breath. And we're going to start by placing our attention to the crown center, right on the top of the head, the center, the fontanelle, the baby's head where it's soft when the infant is born, right there. And we call upon our high self and invite, high self, I invite you to be present in my crown center as I open up to receive you for guidance, for direction, for wisdom. I ask that you help open this crown center of mine, remove anything and everything that I may have collected that does not help me see my path clearly forward. I invite your presence, every part of my higher mind, my energy field, from where I get those packets of wisdom and new knowledge that takes me forward, that tells me there is something more. to be done. I bring to you and offer you everything that I may have blocked without knowing, and ask you to dissolve, illuminate, and open up this guidance, this pathway, as we move to a new way of being on this planet Earth. Take a deep breath, connecting to that high self, crown center. We'll move our attention to the third eye center, the part of us, our higher intelligence, higher mind that connects us to the collective consciousness. I invite my high self to permeate into this third eye space where I connect to the collective. I ask for discernment. I know that we have come from this place of survival, but as we move forward and embrace our higher presence, our greater being, and invite our wisdom that takes us forward beyond our knowing and beyond the collective knowing, I invite my high self presence, the light, to illuminate this entire area of my being. And let me feel your presence through the vibrations that you bring in. So let us pause and breathe and feel that. And typically we will be able to feel it as a movement right in the center of the forehead. And I'm going to also invite you to, behind your closed eyes, point your eyes as if you were trying to look at this spot in the middle of your forehead, just for the next couple of breaths. I thank my high self for being present in my higher mind, for the support I receive in navigating, in discerning information that comes to me, in opening up my intuition. And we slowly bring our attention to the fifth center, throat center, where we have an energy vortex. This is the first location of our physical creation. As I speak, so I create. This is the space of where I am. As I perceive myself, as I think of I am, I become it. This knowledge has not been told to us as we were growing up. I ask my high self to be present with me when I speak, so I am aware of this creative force that sits within me, that I accept without a doubt that what I speak becomes reality, and learn the sacredness of my word and remain aware and vigilant of what I say. What belief is it emanating from? how it is being received primarily by myself, by my ego. And as I breathe into this third center, I ask my high self's presence to be here, to bring to my attention if I am about to speak something that counters the sacredness of my creative purpose. I'm so grateful to be in this human body. Deep breath, feeling that presence, that light, that vibration, that wisdom that connects me directly to spirit and brings me a step closer to my divine intelligence, my spiritual space, and my limitlessness. Bringing our attention to the heart center, protected beautifully by the rib cage, right next to the physical heart, this energy vortex that sits there. And right behind it is this presence of the sacred heart, directly connecting with my high self and with spirit, receiving the impulses right here. Nice deep breath. And remembering my heart center presence is absolutely pure and pristine and cannot be damaged or contaminated or sullied in any way. I bring this center to my high self and present it for preservation forever, that it is not pulled down to the duality and the polarity of my everyday existence, where sometimes we lose our path between the good and the evil. Sometimes we cannot tell from a neutral space that this polarity is asking me to choose the right path in my growth, in my evolution, in my spiritual pathway, and in embracing my beauty, my creativity, my connection, my love, most of all, my love that sits in the heart center. And as we breathe into the heart, I thank my high self for being present here, for preserving this, for helping me see when I'm straying away from the love that my heart calls for. Nice deep breath. Coming to the third center, solar plexus, the seat of our mind, our beautiful, smart, highly accomplished mind that always stands in good stead when we call upon it. And yet the mind is also the seat of the ego, or high self. I bring to you my ego mind. I ask that you help me discern between my higher calling and purpose and help my mind navigate that path. High self, I call upon you to be my navigator while my mind sits on the driver's seat and helps me get there. finds the pathway, receives the guidance from the guidance system, opens up the higher mind and the connection, receives the guidance and intuition intuitively, knowing what is coming from the fears of the ego, coming from the push of survival, and what actually is coming from love and the greater creation, which is my pathway. High Self, I invite you to be present in my solar plexus, in the tissues of my body, in the cells of my being, so I never lose my path as I'm navigating my day-to-day business. Nice deep breath. I ask my conscious mind to be aware, moving to the second chakra, below the navel a few inches. This is my dantian, the place of my inner being, my inner child. Take a nice breath. High Self, I bring to you my subconscious mind, my inner child. All the beliefs, the practices, the conditioning that dictates my inner child, my space of creativity, as well as my place of fears, deeper fears that are no longer in my conscious mind, but still sits in the old memories that I hold in the mycelium of my lower abdomen, unaware. I offer it to you, the High Self. Please receive and help me neutralize those impulses, those fears, those angers, those sorrows, those grief, the feelings of inadequacy, unforgiveness. I offer it to you to transmute, to return it to me as deep love, longing, connection, compassion. Be with me, High Self, all parts of me, in my body and in my mind. I'm going to take a nice deep breath right there and go to the base center, the base of the spine, our first chakra, which directly connects with the body, this sacred body. This body that gives me the instrument to communicate and be present in this three-dimensional reality, which is my playground. I adore you, dear body. I love you. And you respond to every thought that my high self sends me. And I speak, I think, and I send it down to every cell. Be with me, be one with the high self. Nice deep breath. And just a quick scan from the top of the head. Spirit and I are one. Creation and I are one. The universe and I are one. And I'm so grateful to this body-mind presence that receives, embraces, and now guides me to my higher purpose, the higher purpose of my soul. Thank you, thank you, thank you.